All right, here we are, another week around the trash fire. Your host Mathias, so long with the boy.
John.
Well, John, can you believe it? We are almost done with October. We are almost
Yeah.
at 2024.
Yes. You know what that means? Year in the army.
Yeah, no, that's never again.
Yeah.
I have,
I completed the year in the army, so I'm gonna do it again next year.
yeah, but you sell your older armies that you don't play with anymore. So
Not anymore.
you have that
Actually, no.
space.
That's a lie. I do. I just sold my deep. Well, I'm about to sell my deepkin will. So yes, that is a true statement.
You have that space to redo new army, new year kind of deal. I don't sell
It's
my stuff. I like to keep everything. Even if it's a dead game, I like to keep it all
Mhm.
because you never know. The copium of the game coming back to life is always there. I mean, look at Warhammer, Old World.
Yep. Old world. This is true. Your Tomb Kings will be. That's crazy. Actually, your Tomb Kings will see the light of day again. That's nuts.
I know
I
it's
think about it.
crazy. I never thought this day would come, but here we
Yep.
are.
And there's me, sold all my armies. Not that I would play them anyway, because I really want to play Empire. So
Yeah, well, at least you sold your armies, unlike the first wave of Age of Sigmar where people burned their armies.
oh, that was great.
That was uh that was a different time. Oh,
Is it? There was the one guy who like burned his box nut when they announced it was going to Legends.
I wish I had that kind of money to burn because spending since 3D printing wasn't really that big for the Warhammer community. Spending that $50 on a model, painting it up, doing all that, and then just burning it. That just that hurts. Like just sell it.
That's
At
why it's a
least make
statement.
money out of it.
That's why it's a statement. It's a dumb statement, but it is a statement.
Well, I'm sure GW is really hurting after that.
I'm sure. I'm sure they
And then I bet that guy feels like a fool after
are.
they announce Old World returning.
Oh yeah.
Though I think the army he burned was Dark Elves, so
Yes.
not
They're
a
just getting index rules, not a main launch army.
not a not the best thing, but at least they're coming back. But yeah, we are getting closer to the end of the year, which means Christmas boxes are coming soon, and we've got loads of things to prepare for. Like me with the LVO, probably gonna get stomped because I am very unprepared for this tournament scene, but
I
the
don't think
whole
I'm going
point
to
will be
LVO
fun.
actually.
What happened?
I don't think I'm going to LVO actually.
You didn't enjoy it?
No, I did. It's just they're not doing a thing I enjoyed last year.
Which was
So I forgot if I mentioned this, but they're reducing the point size for 30K. So day one is gonna be 2,500 points, and day two is gonna be 2,000 points. So it's like, I'm good. I don't want to go for that. Also, like travel plans are in flux, but that I was already considering not going, so I think that just pushed it.
hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the. Imagine going to the 40K narrative and like day two is like gonna be 500 points, and it's like, okay, like that's I don't want to travel, you know, 3 hours away to play 500 point game, which is, in my opinion, a 2,000 point equivalent of Horus Heresy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either. It seems very unfun and a big waste of time.
Yeah,
But I understand. But you have all the other local tournaments that you attend that you have
yeah,
more fun doing anyways.
right. And I'm also trying to do a 30K league, which I'll talk more in the hobby rent section. But yeah, I rather just play locally and have control of what the events are and what I go to, and not just, yeah, just again travel that far for a smaller game. It's not for me.
Just understandable. Well, I say we should just jump right into the news that we got here. We got first news story. We're not going to start with any models here. Usually we start with our Sunday preview, but first we got this hotly anticipated new digital card game coming to early access Steam. I think it's just the spin-off of the 30K version of this.
Yeah.
I don't really have any opinion on this. I don't really care for this, to be honest. But what better way to make more money than a card game? Been working for Magic all these years. So I don't. Did you ever play the 30K version of this?
Not interested.
Not interested.
I generally not don't play card games. Like I play a lot of Magic now. Like that's a huge exception because I generally don't like playing card games.
I've been having an itch to play card games, but
Ooh, should play Magic.
as a 40K fan, no interest. No interest in the digital card games. Because, like I like to do at my local store sometimes, I'll just buy a Yu-Gi-Oh pack. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in like 20 years. But, I like the art style. And I'll just buy a pack randomly. And just enjoy the art.
Meanwhile, freaking Magic is gonna release a Fallout set, and they just announced a Marvel set today, which is causing lots of heated discussion among the community. But that's the world of card games.
Yeah, I saw. I don't remember what it was. A video about the expansions of Magic release per year. I think last year they had like 20 something expansions.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah. I mean,
Ah,
I started really playing this year, and it's a lot of expansions.
and I'm just like, God damn, how do you have so many?
There's one more coming out in like 2 weeks, which I already pre-ordered for.
My
But
friend tried to get me into Magic. I played some Magic. It's okay, not bad. We play the not I don't remember the name of the edition. The one that's not current.
I'm not even sure because there's like 20 million Magic formats. I play Commander, which is the casual 4-player format.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember. It's the one that doesn't have too many restrictions on the cards. Like it's not the current set that you have to play.
That's Pioneer, maybe? Because
Well,
that one, yeah, I think Pioneer is it's the base game except with less restrictions.
that's
But
the
yeah,
one that I tried to play. I think the last time I bought Magic cards was the Warhammer uh commander deck that they released last year. So I got my Necron deck up there. I played a couple games with my friend who bought Tyrannid deck. And yeah, that's about it. I haven't really touched the deck since. It's kind of just sitting there in its Necron box. It's looking pretty. Fucking dust. But yeah, digital card games, as much as it is fun on the go, being able to play with anyone anywhere, I still prefer my physical cards. My physical cardboard crack.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yeah. So that's coming out. Interested in that? Go for it. It's now early access on Steam if you want to play it. Moving on, we still got more gaming news. The final faction was revealed for Realms of Ruin. To no one's surprise, it's Chaos. Look at that. So, they showed off a few things. Got a little video here. And now that you've seen all the factions, John, what do you think?
I think, yeah, it was a good choice to do Disciples of Zinch. I was expecting Maggotkin or Khorne Bloodbound. I really wanted Skaven, but I think Zinch is Because if you want to keep it, like, Skaven's kind of out there in terms of chaos. They don't. I mean, they're technically chaos, but they don't feel chaos. So I understand that that's kind of a pipe dream for them being the only chaos faction. So
Well,
to
this
me, it
is
was between Disciples and Hedonites, and I think Disciples is a solid choice because Lord Change is iconic, Zangors, Cultists, and all that. It's pretty cool.
this is the year of Zinch in video games.
Yeah, because they're also in Space Marine, right?
They're in Space Rain. They're in uh Bolt Gun.
They are in Bolt Gun. You're right. I have killed many Lords of the Chains in that game, but yes, they're also in Bolt Gun.
They're in this game. I mean, Zinch is doing good. It's usually always Nurgle
Right.
or Korn, but mainly Nurgle. So glad we're finally changing up the scenery and getting the blue boy his spotlight here. Yeah, it looks nice. Looks good. Two factions that I like, so they're already winning me over a little bit here about trying to pick up the game. Even though I don't play uh the followers of Zinchen AoS. But that would be that of gaming news. Very light on that. If we have to move on, I'd say we go to our Sunday. Oh wait, what's this? Wrong word. Our Sunday preview here, and it's Cities of Sigmar.
Yes, finally.
Finally being sold on its
Finally,
own.
they're out. Finally, I can use the code in my app because it
Did
keeps saying, "Oh, not released yet. Can't use the code." I'm like, "Damn it, guys!"
I mean I guess that's one way to stop some hacking of it, but yep. Here we go. We finally got the book, uh, the default cover, I guess is what I would say. Cities of Sigmar coming out. Get the special edition book if you want, which I don't know why you would, but there you go. You take that. Uh, Teliar Verdar, Dinus of the Parch.
Yeah, Talia Vedra. I do want her. Not gonna pick her up initially, but she is probably the last model I want to get. Kind of like round out the army.
I mean, it's a cool model.
Oh yeah.
That's coming out. Pontifex Zenstra. This crazy model.
I'm not grabbing the model because she mainly wants flagellants in your army, and there are no new flagellant models. You got to use the old Empire ones from Fantasy, and I do not want to do that.
Okay. I guess it makes sense. Flagellants, huh?
Yeah, she makes them battle line and gives them a bunch of buffs.
It's crazy that they didn't update the models
Right.
for a character that's specifically for them.
Right.
All right, interesting choice there, GW. Free Guild Caviar Marshall, the epic horse rider here. What about him? Is he a pickup?
Oh yeah. He will. I will. Yeah. Not initially. I'm gonna probably not. Yeah. I'm not gonna pre-order him. I'm gonna pick him up later. But he is quite good if you run. He really buffs the cavalry unit, the cavaliers. So if you're running more than one unit, which I am, I'm gonna run 2 units in my 1500 point list. I do want him to lead them because he gives them a lot of buffs. Also a cool model. Also, I like how it's not just this super awesome, like, badass knight. He also has, like, a briefcase with his paperwork.
Hey, you gotta take the work on the go.
Oh yeah.
You never know. So we got him. We got the Free Guard Marshal and Relic Envoy on foot.
Already got that.
There's some options. Give him the little double pistol there, or the sword and shield instead of the hammer. The corpse, command corpse. Get your wizards, assassin, battle standard bearer.
This
Doggo.
unit I'm picking up, but also not initially. Probably later on for when I finish 1,500 points because I think they'll be in the 2,000 point list I'm building towards.
That we got the Wizard of Iron, the Alchemite Wordforger.
This
That
guy
as
I already
well.
have, and he is super good, actually.
What makes him good?
He has an ability where I don't even think it's a spell. He could choose not to cast spells, and he just gives I think a +1 save to all infantry near him.
Hmm.
And if you're running blocks of infantry, then that means your steel helms, which is the basic infantry, get like a 3-up save.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
You don't have to roll for that at all.
No, I have the book right here.
That's
Pretty sure
crazy.
that's how he works. Let me verify because it is a pretty powerful ability. So where's this guy? Alchemite Warforger. Yep, this unit may expand the power of the Runic Crucible. It cannot cast any spells this phase, but until the start of your next hero phase, add +1 to save rolls for friendly Cities of Sigmar human units within 12 inches. Fully within 12 inches. Yep, that's pretty good.
I like how I had to specify human.
Yes, he only buffs humans. No elves or dwarves here.
This racist guy right here. I can't believe him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he's coming. We got the Yuso Armager on Ogar Warhulk, aka Master Blaster.
Yes, that guy I'm picking up because he is a requirement for the basic formation. And he's pretty solid too. And it's also a cool model, right? It's very Age of Sigmar, Master Blaster style.
I hate tall models like this. It's like unnecessarily tall. Like I get it. I get what they're doing.
That's fair.
But it's I hate models like this.
That's fair. But yeah, I like him. Well, he could be better. I wish the ogre had a helmet, but that's okay.
You can always
Oh,
make a helmet.
you could give. Yeah, there's another head with a helmet, but I would like an enclosed helmet. Which you're right, I could make one, but I don't know. We'll see.
Got him. We got the Free Guard Cavalry, which it's awesome. Very well done.
Yep. Also, gonna get another unit eventually after I paint the first unit.
We got the Fusiliers, the Gunners.
This unit I'm picking up for sure. One of my favorite units for the range. I'm gonna pre-order them on the weekend. I don't think I'll eventually want 2 units, but I think for now I'll just get 1 unit and paint them up. Don't want to overload myself with plastic, as we always do.
Right? We got them. We got the Steel Helms, the close combat version. So is this gonna be like a double box, or is this actually gonna be 2 separate units?
2 separate units.
I mean, sorry, 2 separate boxes or 1 box?
Oh, two separate box. Yeah.
I see. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, I
Then
think the gunners have a lot of bits that are
unique.
unique to them. So yeah.
And then we
Which I'm
got
cool
the
with.
Great Cannon here. Maybe they showed off the cannon. I don't really remember the cannon.
Yeah, no, they showed this off before. Not really oomph model, I think. I'm gonna pick one up too because I mean, one, I like artillery in fantasy games, and two, it's also a requirement for the basic formation. But yeah, I'll be grabbing this.
Okay, we get that. We got the Dawnbringer book coming out as well, which was showed off at the event last week. That being a special edition is too. We got the Black Talons animation models coming out as well.
I really want to buy this unit. This is super cool. I hope it's not limited edition.
What is this, a kill team?
No, it's a squad.
Or okay. Well then it won't be a limited edition. I don't think. I think they'll have it for a while.
That's true.
But
They do
it's
have
gonna be
those
one of those things I guarantee that you'll have to buy, and then once it's out, it'll just take them a long time to restock.
Yeah.
That would be
I'm
my prediction. Just given how it works usually.
Right.
So we got that. We got the Cryptborn Stormwing, which is again the first Relector with his 2 dragon companions there that you have to buy. Going
Yep.
the Lionel Johnson route here.
Yep.
We got the Blades of Belathanos, which is the big bug that we saw last week as well, with the 3 little bug gliders and 3, I don't know what they're called.
The Kurnoth Hunters.
Yes, what John said. So again, unable to buy these models separately as of right now. We got Grimhold Exile being on
Gosh,
his own.
he looks so generic.
Huh?
He looks so generic.
It's a curse of a dwarf, okay? There's not really too much you can do. Other than give him something else to stand on. That would be more badass than a rock.
This is fair.
Harbinger of Decay is coming out as well. 30k Fulgrim finally coming out on release here. If you want to buy this Forge World monstrosity, which I'm sure will be, I don't know, $200. You would know more.
It's a good question because he's Forge World only, so I don't think stores can get him. He's probably going to be like $200 for sure, more than the plastic 40k ones.
I mean, honestly, because it's Forge World, I would honestly say like 250 if I had to guess. I don't think they would go to 300. I would pray to God they wouldn't go to 300, but you know, I wouldn't put it past Forge
Would
World
not
to go
put it- yep.
past to go up to 300.
I would not put it past them. You're right.
Because this is gonna be as big as what? Would this be as big as Marathi? Obviously not the wingspan, but
I
model
think
wise.
so. I think at the very least it's going to be Marathi size. Probably maybe smaller than maybe Angron's size 40k because Angron's not that big. So, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it's hard to say, but I'm gonna land with 250, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was higher.
Yeah, I'll go with 250.
And then obviously we've got the books. We got a Black Talon book coming out for everything, audio, ebook, whatever you want. The Red Gobbo rides again. Do not care. Galaxy of Horrors are coming out. Untamed Realms, which it's like the what is that? Stormcast and Zinch. Can't really tell what's happening on the cover there. Whatever. It's gonna be 13 different stories told by 10 different authors, so it's gonna be just a little omnibus of books there. And of course, we got The Greater Sun, The Vulture Lord, and The Baboon Rising, which are all old books from last year coming in. Audio and Warhammer Plus, we are getting a bat rep of AoS, and that is that. So pretty jam-packed Sunday preview. A lot of stuff coming out. Mainly Age of Sigmar cities. The cities of Sigmar getting released there, but a few extra goodies sprinkled in there, especially from last week's preview, which, you know, good on them for getting that stuff out fast. So that's nice. Moving on to our next thing, I wanted to just talk about the Meta Watch here really fast. World Eaters took the Tampa victory here. Or sorry, not World Eaters. Adeptus Sororities took the win here, with second place being World Eaters. So Eldar not there. I don't know. I think Eldar needs a little buff. But it's not. I don't really want to look at the list here because I'm not going to give you any insight to that. I want to look at the faction win rate here. So things have changed since the last time we looked at this list. The percentages went down a bit. Eldari are no longer. What were they? 63% last time.
Something stupid high.
Yeah, there was something extraordinary high. Now they've dropped down to 57%. You know, still a little over their prediction rate there, and I'm sure people will say 57 is a bit too low for Eldari, but hey, I'm gonna go with what GW's handing me out here. They've gone down, and yeah, the meta's shaken up a bit. I think the last time it was Eldari, Gene Stealer cults, and Custodian and Knights in the top 4. And now we've got Orcs, Votans, Chaos Space Marine, and Tau coming in. Which I believe Tau and Votan were definitely near the bottom. Votan especially, I think, was either last or second to last. Unfortunately, my poor Drukhari are still trash tier. This is pretty much what I thought was going to happen when I read how their Power of Pain was going to work. It's just not as good as getting that army-wide buff every turn. But it looks a little better compared to what it was, because like I said, last time we saw this, there's like 3 armies in the red on the top win rate, and there was like 4 or 5 armies in the bottom win rate that were red. So GW's doing a little bit better with these fast patches that they're doing to the game. So now I commend GW. It is a Herculean task to balance this game, because as John has said in the past, no way to balance 40k. 40k is unbalanceable.
Just multiply the amount of factions with each other, and that's one game, right? And each game is what, 3 hours, so you need like thousands upon thousands of hours. So it's a lot.
Yeah, and I agree with John. There's no way you can ever balance 40k. Like, the best you can do is the wipe for a new edition, where everyone is kind of just basic. And I would say that, was it 9th? I think 9th edition, when they wiped everything clean. No, it was 8th edition. 8th edition, when they wiped everything clean with the indexes, was probably the most balanced 40k had probably ever been. And then, of course, when they started adding in the codexes, that's when the unbalance started to happen. But also, that whole wipe of the index, or the whole wipe of the army and their faction rules and all that, when it makes everything so samey, it's just not as interesting of a game either. Because, you play the army because of their interesting abilities. But this is what they're showing us now. So Eldari still number 1. Always number 1, Eldari. Everyone else needs to learn their place to the greatest army in the greatest faction in 40k. But yeah, that is that. Just wanted to quickly go over that. Heresy Thursday. We're getting drop pods. They go over drop pods in Epic. Put your Contemptors, your Leviathans, your Dorito Dreadnoughts in here. They also mentioned something about a power field.
Yeah, so there's a new drop pod introduced. It is a Palisade drop pod, which has a shield generator. So when the drop pod drops, and Oh, actually, well, the drop pod is dropping. It projects an energy shield,
Hmm.
and it protects other things, which is interesting. Not in regular 30k. I wonder if it will be in regular 30k at some point. But that's an interesting new unit. I hope it gets added to regular 30k.
I was gonna say, if they had something like that in 40k, I'm pretty sure drop pods would be used. I don't
Right.
know to the effect of how good it would be, like cover, not not too much, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen a drop pod since 7th edition in 40k, so it's been a long time. Those used to be monsters. Now they're probably just paperweights on people's desks since no one uses them in 40k. But yeah, that's coming around. Whole new unit being introduced. Exciting stuff. Still no idea when it's coming out, but whatever. At this point, we could wait with all the projects that we have. And then the final news, we've got 2 sets here. We're gonna look at the Age of Sigmar one here first. We are getting new season boxes for here. So Age of Sigmar, we are getting Chaos, Lizards, uh, uh, Bone Reapers, and Vampire Court or Vampire Counts, whatever. So pretty solid here. Just looking at the Lizardmen here, we got ourselves some Saurus Warriors, Lord, not Lord Croak, Swan,
Yoga
Saurus.
Swan, yeah. I like how it's all new units.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. Also has the Warcry warband, which is I think great at.
Best way to sell a model, right? Unique models. So we're getting that. That's pretty nice. The Bone Reaper one. Looks like we're just getting 20 normal skeleton warriors there. John with
This
no
one I
all the
like
names.
because it actually so far, and I think this applies for all of them. But yeah, I'll talk about the design of these boxes later. But no, I like this one. I already have all these units. They're unbuilt in a box, but one day I'll do Bone Reapers. But yeah, they're super cool. I really like
Yep.
this box.
That's there. We got the Chaos one. Got the Chaos Knights, obviously, the Chosen, the Knights on Foot. I forget the name of that special character on the horse.
Ernest.
And then we got the Minotaurs in the back as well. Again, all new models, so very nice box set here. And then, of course, the vampire counts. We got the wolves. We got the character. The Vargai. No, those aren't Vargais. Those are just giant bats. The Blood Knights, and a horde of just, I think, 20 skeletons. And those are the only 4 boxes that they're releasing. You think they'd release a little bit more.
Yeah, no destruction box, which is interesting.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, it's all new models.
Yeah, I I would rate these like a 9 out of 10 because it for me it not looking at like are these units good or competitive, but if you're starting these armies, it has a variety of selection. Like these don't look like boxes where they just added things that weren't selling. Looking at Star Wars Legion, like it's clear that yeah they're adding a unique facet of the army. Or sorry, like the box has a bunch of unique facets of the army. Again, you have the Saurus, you have the cavalry, you have the heavy infantry, you have some flyers, you have the light infantry, and then you got your big centerpiece leader. Same for the chaos one is amazing. It's this is all slaves to darkness. These slaves to darkness units. The chaos warriors, chosen, chaos sword and demonic mount, knights, and the theridons. Like this is the release minus the demon prince, and they're all different, right? Vampire one is great. Same for the Bone Reapers one. Has a lot of unique units again. different facets of the army. It doesn't feel like just a cobbled together box. Like it makes, I don't know about in gameplay wise, but like thematically they're very cohesive. So I would love to give this. I'll give it a 10 out of 10 honestly. Just if I wanted to play any of these armies, instant buy these boxes are.
Damn, that's high praise coming from
Yeah,
John there.
they're really well done. And like you said, Matt, they're all new units. None of these are came out before the year like 2019. That's when Bone Reapers came out. Ah, sorry, that's a lie. More gas are old. JK, they came out when Fantasy ended. But they're still quite new. There's no like old fantasy units or even like starter set units from the first wave of AoS. They're all new for the most part. Honestly, minus the Morghast, yeah, that same one applies. They're all new kits. So very happy with how they built these.
They look nice. That's all I could really say. I'm with John on this, but I cannot tell if these are gonna be good in the game, given that my Age of Sigmar knowledge is pretty thin to zero on what's going on right now. But you know, I'd pick up a Saurus box, really, because they look good.
Yeah, they look great.
But I gotta hold fast and not buy any more stuff because I don't want to buy any more stuff.
That's fair.
I don't got the space for more stuff. But yeah, these are all solid looking boxes. So very cool. Now we can go on to 40K, which I have some knowledge on. And they're gonna get 2 more boxes in Age of Sigmar. They're gonna get 6 boxes. That is Space Marines, IG, World Leaders, Orcs, Photon, and Tyranids. So let's go ahead and just take a look here.
Actually, really quick,
Yes.
before we talk about these, I'm glancing at them, and a lot of these help illustrate what I mean when I said earlier about the cohesiveness of the boxes, because some of these are just the opposite of that. And I'll talk to it. And as we go through the boxes, I'll explain more about what I mean. But yeah, just wanted to mention that.
All right, then. Well, let's start with the first one. Leagues of Votan.
Okay. So here we go, right? There's just 10 of the heavy infantry. You know, it would have been better if it was 5 heavy infantry and 10 of the regular guys, or maybe even the kill team, you know? And then you got the vehicles and then the character and the wizard. Because, yeah, just having 10 of the heavy infantry makes me think, like, oh, were they not selling that unit? Or they just throwing it in the box? You know? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a. I mean, obviously the vehicles take up a lot of the infantry space there, but not an enticing box.
Yeah.
Though I'm very biased because we all know how I feel about squats.
I also do not like squats, but yeah. Just looking at it from putting them together, not a fan of this.
No. Orcs. You've got basically the savage, not the savage orcs. What were they called? Beast Nagas.
Yep.
Basically, we're getting the re-release of the Beast Naga boxes. So, if you want to pick up a whole new army box of Beast Nagas, there you go. It's nice, well themed. I don't think there's any. Yeah, there's no old orc models in there,
No,
so
yeah,
it's
no
all
repeats.
just Beast Nagas.
Yeah, also no repeats, just 10 of the infantry, 1 unit of the cavalry, bunch of characters. Yeah, this is solid, I think, if you want to start Beast Nagas.
I would agree with John. This one's a good one. IG, Cadia Defense Force. I think this box set got leaked out, which is why I think they're announcing the festival boxes. I forgot who posted it, but yeah, so we got this. We got 20 Cadian Shock Troopers, Command Squad, 2 Rogel Dorn tanks. Missing something.
That's it.
That's it. So I
Not a. Go ahead.
could be better.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the double Rogel Dorn. I much prefer if they had one Rogel Dorn and like three of the artillery, like the
I agree.
artillery squad, right, or sentinel squad or something. I'm just not a fan of the duplicating units. Guardsmen have two squads of 10. That's fine because that's their only troop choice, right? It's the guardsmen. So it's guard is an army where you want a lot of those. So I think that's fine. I have no issues with the 20 guardsmen, but I really don't like the double Rogel Dorn. Much prefer if instead of a second one, it was another unit. Like, again, sentinels or the artillery, like we mentioned.
Yeah, I would have gone artillery or Casterkin. I think those would have been my choices, or probably both. Why not? But then again, that's probably too many models. But we'll see that won't really matter when you look at the last box here. So, and then moving on to Space Marines, we got a bunch of Jump Marines, an ATV, and Outriders. Um, I mean, someone who wants to do a lot of jump packs in his army, I could see myself picking this up. I also want the ATV, but the Outriders, I hate. I hate Outriders.
I think this is the worst box out of all of them. There's just I'm the same with you. I want the jump infantry, but 15 of them might. It's funny because if you look at the picture too, it looks so spammy. You just see this, three of the same pose, right? Yeah, it just really not a fan of this. I wish it was, and I agree. Outriders are not very exciting of a unit. I don't even know if they're good or not, but they don't excite me as a Space Marine unit.
Every time I've used Outriders, they have done their best to disappoint me every time.
Sad face.
So, Outriders were really cool when they first came out. I was like, man, this is going to be awesome. And then I used them, and I'm like, this unit is complete garbage.
Sad. That's it. But it is what it is. Poor
Yeah,
Outriders.
but
Yeah.
I agree with you. It is
Yeah, it's
it
way
is a
too.
lot.
I wish that instead of the Outriders and the five jump intercessor jump intercessor. Gosh, what a lame name. Instead of the five or the three Outriders and five jump intercessors, maybe a Terminator squad to break up the variety. I mean, I get why you want multiple squads of the jump pack intercessors because there's a captain there, so there's kind of a theme going on. But I think having the extra five it just feels spammy, and I think
This is
switching that to something else would have been better. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe the Terminators because they teleport in your fast moving army.
this is what I would do. Get rid of the Outriders. Get rid of 5 or 10.
It's
You
just
know,
five. Five. I think 10 will be too much.
get rid of 5 jump intercessors, and give me a land speeder. Give me one of the new land speeders.
Yeah, there we go. That's a great one. I agree. The new land speeder. You keep the theme and you have like a big vehicle along with your ATV. That would be great. But no, instead we get 15 of them in the easy build Outriders, which everyone has. Let's be honest.
I
Everyone.
would I would settle for getting rid of 10 and keeping the Outriders because
Mhm.
there is synergy between the Outriders and the ATV.
Okay.
There's I forget what it is. There's some kind of special rule where they synergize with each other. So I get why the Outriders are in this box because of the ATV, but I would settle get rid of 10 jump intercessors for a land speeder,
Yeah.
and we could keep the Outriders if we had to, or remove five intercessors and 3 Outriders for one. I think the land speeder needed to be in this box. I don't
Yeah.
think we
I agree.
needed 15. So, I would like to have that many models, but this is not a good box set, in my opinion. Not something you would want to start an army with, per se. But yeah. Well, let's move on to the last box set here, I believe. No. Sorry. second to last box set here. Onslaught Swarm. We got ourselves Spammy here. We got what? 20 leaping sighting Harmagons. We got ourselves a Hive Tyrant or a Swarm Lord. You can mix or match there. We got the Northern Emissary and 10 Gene Stealers with some Ripper Swarms to boot.
I don't. Oh, you were ready to say something? Sorry.
No, I wasn't. Go ahead.
I don't mind the 20 Hormigons because it's like the Cadian thing. I mean, Termagants would be nice, but I think having that Horde vibe with Tyranids makes sense. It would make sense why you want 20 of them to keep that kind of vibe. I'm not sure about the Hive Tyrant. Maybe it's because it's an older model, so it kind of sticks out to me. Especially if you look at the paint scheme, like it just looks too different. I think having a newer unit there would be nicer. I don't know which one. Maybe the
Wing Prime.
Wing. Yeah, even though he's a starter set model though, so I gotta be fair and have a new maybe a Biovore, a Lictor even. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
yeah,
Lictor
the
would
Hive
be work. Cool.
a Lictor, right?
That
Yeah,
stealth leaper.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Or the Parasite, that's a new unit, even though because you have Ripper's Swarms. Yeah, that would be a good one. Get the Parasite and Vortex. Now, the Hive Tyrant is an iconic unit for Tyranids, but yeah, I think the Parasite being a newer model would just make that kind of sense thematically. Or a Lictor, like we said earlier. Just the Hive Tyrant sticks out too much. Great ad though if you buy the starter set or the Leviathan box. This is an excellent addition. Yeah, like if you're listening to this and you're new to Tyranids and you got the Leviathan box, this is 10 out of 10 next purchase because these are all units you want for that army. So
Very solid.
it's really good there. And I will say the same for the Space Marine one too. If you have the Leviathan box, the Spearhead Force, even though it's the worst one out of the 6, also a great add to that. In fact, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say the same for the next one we're gonna talk about too. But if you bought the Combat Patrol for like Votan, Orcs, and Imperial Guard, these are all great next purchases because it's just more stuff that you want, you know. Even for Cadians, it's 20 more infantry, but you want that with Imperial Guard. So yeah, these are all great next purchases, regardless of how I feel about the design of the box. At the very least, they do that job well. But yeah, I like this one. I wish it was a different Hive Tyrant, or sorry, different unit instead of the Hive Tyrant, but it's better than the Votan one and the Space Marine one by far. So
Yes. Well, we got one more box to look at here, and that would be the World Eaters, which I didn't expect to see Angron in. Usually it's someone like Karn or I guess that's the only Corn character they have besides Angron. But yeah, we got that. We got the Chosen, no, Exalted 8, I think is what they're called, the big guys. And then we got 10 Corn Berserkers. So very sparse box, but again, you are getting a Demon Primarch out of it as well. So it does even out a bit.
I might actually buy this box. I think I will buy this box.
Really, just for because it comes
Just
with
like
Angron?
these are all units I eventually want at some point in my Warhammer career.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, the Cornbers, for sure, Angron. On the only whatever unit is the 8 bound, but they're possessed. I'll paint them as Black Legion, except for Angron. He's gonna be World Eaters, but the other 2 units I'm gonna paint as Black Legion. So I think painting the skin red would help my visual distaste for them. But yeah, it's just Angron. I want that model. I've expressed that before. I didn't get him because no real
Hooray to
opening
get
on the
him.
painting log for him. Yeah, exactly. No real reason for me to work on him now or anything. Oh shoot! I just realized. Ah, damn it.
What
He
happened?
has you can use him in you can use him as a demon sovereign in 30k. Whoops. All right. I guess I have reason to build and paint one. Not that I'm going to because
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you're already gonna buy the box.
Yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, it's just some it's like an almost like an investment kind of thing. Like I want these units anyway, might as well get them on sale while they're on sale. So, yeah. I'm gonna get this box.
Oh, that's all the boxes. So you
Shoot.
you you would say that it's a good purchase, just not well put together. You would say.
Yeah, they could be better. Like the AoS ones, I actually think are perfect. They're 10 out of 10. These ones are kind of like a 7. Some of them are a 6. I mean, the World Leaders one, regardless of if I'm getting it or not, it's also again, it's not spammy. Like the combat, I actually don't like the World Leaders combat patrol. It's freaking 20 corn berserkers. Like maybe give 10 and like another unit instead of just 20 berserkers. But this one has 10 berserkers. They could have easily put 20 berserkers in Angron, but thankfully they didn't, and they gave you the 8-bound Angron and the berserkers, so it's not as insanely spammy.
Well, I mean,
But
world leaders suffer the same fate as Thousand Suns, where they don't really have that many units to pick from.
right, right.
Luckily, they didn't go with the I forget the name of their cultist, but luckily they didn't go with the cultist.
Oh yeah, not sure what their name. The jackals.
Yes, the jackals. Luckily, they didn't throw them in there and be like, yeah, this works perfectly. So not bad, not the worst. What we got, but that's that. So that's all coming out, all discount, all good. Obviously, some boxes could use some improvement, as we've discussed. But if you're new and you're just getting into the stuff, it's not bad purchases to, you know, expand your armies with. But, if you're a veteran like us, some of it not too appealing. But that's only because we have everything. So we a lot more picky with our boxes on what we want from them as well. Anything else you want to add before we head to our how you rant section here? Any other stories?
Nothing really. Like I was joking off cast with Matt. Some other companies aren't releasing anything until next year. Off Star Wars Legion, off Shatterpoint. Well, Shatterpoint's releasing a new mission pack in like a week or so, but no new models. Legion isn't getting anything until January, which really annoys me. I Yeah, not really don't like that. But yeah, nothing really that much in the news front for other games. Crisis Protocol got a new starter set. Yay!
The one thing you gotta commemorate GW on is, this whole weekly,
Yeah,
daily
man.
update on what they're doing is always nice. It always feels like they have something going on,
Yep.
which is what you can't say about other companies, unfortunately.
Yep.
Even if they do produce better games. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's a bit sad, but we're winding down to the end of the year, so I'm more excited, looking forward to that new year of goodies than I am at the end of the year because I already know what's coming and nothing, no Eldar news for me, unfortunately. It's all Admech and Necrons.
Mhm.
Who wants to talk about that? Anyways, Hobby Rant, what have you been up to, my friend?
So I'm starting to get into BattleTech, and thankfully that game is so dense. Like, holy crap! That like trying to get started in that game was a challenge. Like, what
Wait,
do I
are
get?
you
Like,
doing alpha or
No, I'm doing
OG?
classic. The rule set that hasn't changed since the 80s. I'm doing that one.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
When I do BattleTech, when I've been playing BattleTech, it's been the alpha.
Yeah,
So
Alpha Strike, yeah. No,
'cause
I'm playing
that
classic
shit's
Battletech, and
easy.
yeah. I mean, the one thing I really like about it is that it's the cost of entry and also cost, or what I call the Christmas morning challenge. I don't know if I mentioned that in this cast before. Maybe I have.
I
But
have not.
so first of all, it's wait, say again.
You have not.
Got it. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, the cost it's pretty cheap. The base starter set is like $55 retail. You could easily find it on deep discounts at like Barnes and Noble or Amazon or whatever. And a, I guess a full what they call a lance, which is like your army, is you can get like 4 to 5 models, which is a full lance for like $25, and you're kind of good. You just need the rules. Like the rule book's like $30. Now the rule book is all just rules. I didn't realize that when I got it. Like there's no lore. It's just rules for the game. And it was also interesting how there's a lot of optional rules for the game. That's different from like Warhammer, where the core rules are everything you need is there, and you have to use everything. But to dial it back a bit, like the Christmas morning challenge. So the Christmas morning challenge is how long does it take for you to open a present during a Christmas morning or birthday morning or whatever? Someone got you that game. How long does it take between opening the gift and playing the game? So Warhammer is terrible for the Christmas morning challenge because you open your box of like World Eaters Battle Force, and it's like, oh, I gotta paint the Angron. Sorry, I gotta build the Angron. I gotta paint the Angron. And before that, I gotta find the rules for the Angron. I gotta get the rule book. There's all these things you gotta do. Even for if you get Leviathan, you still gotta build the models right. You're not gonna build the models that morning. Even if you do, you probably won't get to play until like nighttime, right?
Well, Leviathan's a lot easier because it's push fit.
But still, it is push fit, but it's still taking a time, right? You got to build them all. It's not like a PlayStation where you open the box, you hook it up, you're good to go, or like a board game. Board games, you open the box, you're good to go. But BattleTech is really good for that because the models they're already pre-built. So you open the box and they're there. And not only that, the starter set, it's called a Game of Armored Combat. There's enough models in there for essentially a full 2,000 point game equivalent of BattleTech for both sides, right?
Yep.
Now BattleTech interestingly there's no, I say 2,000 points, but this game is so interesting to me because like there's no consensus what a standard game size is. Like I look around like what's the standard game size for BattleTech? The answer is like no one knows. Like it depends on your local community. Some people play bigger games, some people play smaller games, but the starter set, and it sounds like you've had experience with this. Like there's two full quote unquote forces, which give you again like the equivalent of a 2,000 point game in terms of the complexity, the time, and the satisfaction you get of playing a game. So that's great. You know, and again it's $55 and everything's there. Now the rules are super dense, and I mean like really dense. But in terms of like dollar to gameplay ratio of the amount of content you get, it's damn good for that. And the models are nice. The lore is insane. It's like
What,
it's like if
60
Dark Age of
years?
Technology, 30K and 40K were all equally important to GW and they release equal content, without like a clear distinction. And it's like, wow, okay. And not to mention like it's all the units are essentially the same. Like I mean, maybe it's because I'm not into the game yet, but I can't tell the difference between like a clan invasion era mech and like a Succession Wars mech. They're mostly the same. Maybe the stats are different, but like the models are the same. So there's not a lot of visual distinction there, which isn't a bad thing. It just again, it's interesting and different to me. But yeah,
Oh yeah, you got like 60 years of war to go through. So
yeah, 60 IRL years of progressive lore.
it's like the lore's kind of like what's it called? War Machine. Each
Right.
takes place in a different decades. Families have died, empires have gone away, kind of deal. I mean,
Yeah.
my friends tried to explain it to me, but I'm like, I don't. It's not Warhammer, so I don't really retain it.
And it's also like, and I don't say this in a mean way, it's generic of like, here's a generic faction with generic kind of like two sentence traits, and it's not like Eldar and orcs. Well, again, because they're humans, right? But like Eldar and orcs are distinct. Even War Machine, right? Like Kador and Signar are visually distinct, right?
Right.
In War Machine, in BattleTech, everyone uses the same mechs. So it's hard to kind of tell
Well,
factions apart.
I mean,
To
certain
me, at least.
factions use specific mechs, but yes, I know what you mean
Yeah,
because you're not really restricted.
yeah. Like there's
You
no
you're
force.
kind of just restricted on what. I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time since I played OG BattleTech, but Alpha, it depends on what era you're playing in.
Right.
Certain people didn't, certain clans or whatever spheres didn't have access to those kind of mechs, kind of deal.
Right, but there's no like rules for it, you know. Like
Yeah, I know.
it's right. But that's the interesting thing about BattleTech is like, yeah, like you're absolutely right. Like the lore has deep, the lore is deep. Like like certain factions do use prefer specific mechs. Certain factions don't exist anymore, depending on the era and all that. So it's very detailed and deep. But in terms of gameplay, like there's no like you can only take these mechs in the rules. It's like you can if you want, if you're theming your army, like like in Horus Heresy, right? You can theme your army that way, but the rules have no real saying in what you can or can't take. Which again is it's very sandboxy, which again I kind of appreciate compared to Warhammer at times. But as starting out, it was kind of overwhelming, and I had to really hold myself together as I'm trying to like figure out how to get into this game without. And I purposely didn't ask anyone for help. I'm like, I'm gonna see how it's like to just jump into this game, and it was a fun experience, to be honest. If you're able to push through it, but yeah, I actually did not get the Game of Armor Combat. I started with the super beginner box. I got the Clan Invasion box because I saw it on a sale, and I'm gonna just start paying the stuff, and yeah, I'm excited to hobby with those. So I've been doing that,
I got
painting
my
my.
Alpha stuff, so.
There we go. I What clan are you doing or faction? I'm curious.
Uh, yeah, I couldn't tell you that.
It's like some faction, you know.
No, I mean I don't even have my stuff painted. Like I have a
Oh.
box that my friends got me like a long time ago for my
Uh-huh.
birthday, and like I should have told him like I don't I'm never gonna play BattleTech. I appreciate the gift, but like I'm never gonna play this game. And then lo and behold, this year I started playing BattleTech.
There you go.
Well, Alpha Strike, but
Now time to play classic with like two models aside.
two models. You got all the little bubbles you gotta fill in before you can get
Heck,
critical damage.
heck yes. Heck
Gotta,
yes.
depending on how heavy your mech is, it's how heavy the punch is.
Yep. When you fall over, you take damage equal to its weight. You got to calculate that. Yeah, fun times. It is so different from Warhammer. It was like not streamlined at all. But it's also not like an RPG where it's too freeform.
Well,
Yeah,
I
no,
think that's why I
I'm excited
prefer
to
a
play more.
alpha because it's just quick, and I
Right.
would rather have my game be quick. I mean,
Right.
I don't hate or hate or dislike OG BattleTech because I have played not many games. I've played a few games of OG BattleTech, but when I compare it to 40K, because for listeners out there not familiar with BattleTech, OG BattleTech is a hexagon map. So you traverse a hexagon. Facing is important because you gotta if you can get the side or the back, you're gonna do a lot more damage to that side, and then you fill in the bubbles to the damage that you're doing. Once you fill in all the bubbles, you can start doing critical damage inside. Whole lot of complications there.
It's a lot.
Alpha is like Age of Sigmar. It's free form. You're not tied to a hexagonal grid. You can move however you want. Facing is still important. but you know, you're not gonna you don't have to go through an entire arm or an entire leg to start doing critical damage. Each robot or each mech has like X amount of hit points and X amount of internal damage before they are destroyed. So, in my opinion, a little more faster, not as strategic as OG. Because you don't have to worry about weight as much either in Alpha Strike. But
There you go.
I would recommend Alpha. OG is fun, just a little more intense that you have to do in that game.
You definitely baby steps when you start playing that.
Because you got to be careful of your heat. You got to be careful of heat's the only thing that's coming to my mind because it's been a long time since I played OG.
There's the hit calculation,
Yeah, but it's a fun game. I like BattleTech. I've enjoyed it. Now that I've branched out of my GW bubble.
There you go.
Yeah, there's that's what else you've been up to? Just that?
Yes. No, also just painting my Cities of Sigmar. I'm almost finished with my first unit. Yeah, once I got the paint scheme down, I just kind of breezed through it because the models are just the detail is separated well. Like the cloth is, they're in good spots. The armor is in a good spot. There's no like weird kind of hard to reach minor like super small details like pouch, like there's no overabundance of pouches and all that. There's just enough to make the model look good if you just do one solid color for each piece.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been working on that. I'm about to paint my second unit. Also played in a Shadow Point tournament. I got first place. It was kind of funny though because I'm the TO, but we had an uneven number of players, so I had to play.
Oh, so you
I wanted to play too, but and I ended up getting first place for the freaking Mace Windu and Obi-Wan.
So you rigged it, is what you're saying?
Exactly, absolutely rigged the event. No, our troopers are just incredibly strong, and Mace Windu is also super strong. But yeah, Shatterpoint's a fun game. Shatterpoint, like I said last week, needs more missions. There's a new pack coming out in a few weeks, but hopefully that makes the game even more, or adds some lot of variety to the game. Because we only had like 4 people show up, and I didn't realize too, like in the other tournaments in the area, like they went from like 12 people. Like last tournament I TO'd had 12 people, but this one had 4, including myself. And there was another one in the area, and they also had 4 people. And there was one a week ago at a different store nearby, and they had 6 people. And I've been to, prior to this one, I've been to 2 other events, including mine, that at least had 10 to 12 people. So yeah, I think the game's just kind of mellowing out. Maybe when the Civil War stuff comes, it'll get a kick. I don't think the game's like dying or anything. I think it's just a lull with the that post release kind of lull before it starts kicking again as more content comes out. But yeah, just been doing that. I'm gonna start a Horus Heresy League at Geeky Tees. Looking forward to that. Getting some heresy back right after I finished playing in the league. I'm gonna start one. So
What does the league consist of?
So it's gonna be a narrative slash, I don't want to say competitive, but like match play league where you're required to play one assigned game a month for 6 months. But you're also, so that's the narrative piece. That's gonna be, as much as I can, it's gonna be traitor versus loyalist, and your wins contribute to the narrative of the campaign, like a very baseline narrative, nothing too deep or crazy. And there's going to be the match play portion where you just play as many games as you want in that 6 months, and your top 3 victory points or your top 3 games are compared, and whoever essentially that's what's used for final scoring. Just if you play 10 games and someone plays 4, we'll take the top 3 out of each. So it's not like the person with 10 games has a raw advantage. I mean, yeah, you have the advantage because you play more, but we want people to play more, so there's that. But that's alongside the narrative kind of games. So yeah, um, that's gonna be that at Geeky Tees. Hoping to start mid-November. I'm gonna draft a player packet when I get some free time. And yeah, there's that. How about you? What have you been up to?
Very cool. Me. Let's see. What did I do? Last week I did some 40K. We had a uneven amount of players that showed up, so we did some Eldar Necron team up, some Filthy Xenos versus God, what did we fight? Was it Blood Angels? No. Raven Guard. That's what we fought. We fought some Raven Guard. So we got to fight the new Space Marine Codex that came out. And yeah, it was okay. The Xenos won, obviously. You can't beat that Eldar win rate, even with the Necron allies. But yeah, it was like a 1,000 points versus a 2,000 point army. So I basically sacrificed my entire Eldar army to destroy a bunch of key figures, while my Necron ally took all the objectives. So it worked out well. It didn't feel too powerful, the Space Marine Codex, but then again, it is Raven Guard, so wasn't too much there. He went with the new Raven Guard detachment, which gives him 12 inches more than 12 inches away, stealth, and cover, which it was whatever. I was more close combat-y, so that didn't really affect me too much compared to my Necron ally. So we'll have to wait and see what it's like when I fight. I think he said he was gonna need to do either Blood Angels or Space Wolves next week. So see how that goes. But I did that. I too have been doing some painting. I am currently working on my Night Haunt for
Nice.
John's 500 point AoS thing. So I'm almost done there. Granted, majority of my army was already had the one paint of coat on them. I forget what the name of that contrast paint was called. The Night Haunt one. Pretty sure it was called Night Haunt Glow or something like that. So luckily it's just highlighting and finishing the base and weapons and whatever knickknacks that I need to put on them. But I'm currently working on that. I'm almost done. And then obviously I'm still painting some Shadows of Brimstone, because I got that backlog. I don't even want to think of that backlog, but
Yeah.
getting that. I got some more boxes, which I mentioned last week. 6 boxes for $85 or something like that. Perfectly fine. Got some magnets to magnetize everything. And it's just getting everything organized, because right now, I mean, it's not bad, but I have like models hidden away in my drawers and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want them in my drawers. I need to get these things in a box or something. Get it nice and organized. But yeah, that's what I've been doing this week. Probably gaming wise, we'll be doing either, it is end of the month, so we'll most likely do some Shadows, but right now that's a little tentative because I don't know who's all gonna be showing up for Wednesday night. So if that don't happen, maybe we'll force everyone to play some BattleTech. I don't know. But yeah, that's that. I'll be posting my progress here shortly, before October 31st, of my 500 points of Night Haunt. So you can all take a look at this little campaign thing we're doing. Yeah. Other than that, not much. Just getting ready for the Halloween. Playing some spooky games, playing what's it called? I played Are you familiar with the Dark Picture anthology series?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of like a, I think choose your adventure is the wrong word. Basically, a story happens, and then you gotta, pick dialogue options or do a quick time event kind of deal. So you're basically just watching a movie, and then whatever you do action wise, affects the story kind of
Mm-hmm.
deal. So I did that, you know, played a little bit of that. Obviously, Dead by Daylight. That's my favorite game to play. Don't let anyone ever tell you that it's not my favorite game. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. Just mellowing out, enjoying the spooky season. But other than that, I don't have much else to contribute. Anything else you want to talk about before we close up here?
I think that's it.
Well, okay then. I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end, and we'll see you next time.
Everyone.